Notes, just keeping it real.
You just take it over like it's a big deal. Yeah. Tired of all the pressures, trying to keep
Just
it
keeping
real.
it real.
Oh,
Black Notes, just keeping it real. Black Notes, just keeping it real.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm the Von 37, aka the Black Note, and welcome to show 10 of Just Keeping It Real. Here we are on South Florida Beach, Hollywood, Florida, and we're here to do an interview with John Fifield, jazz guitarist, going to be releasing this new jazz fusion CD the middle of this year. So you know how we like to do it. Let's keep it real. Let's get this show rolling. Welcome to show number 10 of Just Keeping It Real. Once again, I'm the Von 37, aka the Black Note. I'm here with a good friend of mine, John Fifield, jazz guitarist extraordinaire. John, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Glad to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. It's good to see you again. John and I haven't seen each other in over 20 years. We've played in several different bands, from original music to rock. And John is now about to release a jazz fusion CD. Would you put it in the category of jazz fusion?
Yeah, it's got a lot of different elements. There are elements of jazz and improvising. There are elements of funk, elements of Latin. It really covers the whole range of styles that I've played throughout the time I've been playing. So it's a real good representation of what I do.
Yes. The music you're hearing in the background right now is from John's CD. I'm going to tell you, man, when I heard this CD, I was very impressed. John, let me ask you this. We've known each other for so long. How did this project evolve, this jazz fusion project?
It started out, basically, I figured I would do some demos. And I figured, okay, I'll get some demos done, and I'll see if there's any interest from anybody else who might want to do this stuff.
Right.
And the way it took off is after not having seen Rick Firabraci, who's the bass player, the electric bassist on this project.
What's his name again, I'm sorry?
Rick Firabraci.
Okay.
After not having seen or talked to Rick Firabraci for probably 20 years, maybe a little bit more, found through the internet once again, his website, got in touch with him, found that he was on tour in Korea at that point, and when we wound up getting in touch, I assumed in my head that no, this guy is not going to, want to get involved in anything I'm doing. But I asked the question anyway, and he said, absolutely. So, sent him the first tune. He liked it so much, he encouraged me to get other players of his caliber involved, and it just snowballed from there.
This CD was put together so well. How did you get all these musicians together to do this project? Because it was quite interesting. You sent tracks to here, and tracks were sent back to you after they were laid. Can you explain a little bit about how that was done?
Absolutely. Depending upon who I was using and for what particular track and where they were located at the time, would determine whether I had them over here to the studio to record them here, or in the case of Rick Firabraci and drummer Joel Rosenblatt, I would send tracks to them. I would do a very detailed demo, prepare charts, we'd talk about it ahead of time. They'd read through the charts, they'd listen to the demo I did,
Yes.
They'd run a couple of tracks, and they'd send it back to me for review, and if there was anything that needed to be touched up, they'd go ahead and do it.
This CD, in my opinion, once again, is in the category of like Chick Corea or some heavy fusion. Now, what is the name of the CD so that people can look for it, and tell us once again when it's going to be released?
Gotcha. The release date I'm shooting for is middle of this year, hopefully by the end of July, maybe August at the latest. The working title that I've had up till this point has been It Is What It Is.
That's the name of the CD? It Is What It Is?
That's the working title. I may change that when I actually do release it to The Frequency, but I'm not sure. It'll either be It Is What It Is or The Frequency.
Who are some of the artists that you admire, that you looked up to coming up, or that you still admire? Who are some of these artists that you are?
A ton of different people. I mean, everybody from Jimi Hendrix. I mean, the influences around my house, because I was the youngest of 7 kids. There was a ton of different influences. I mean, we were listening to everything from Earl Garner to the Rolling Stones to Jimi Hendrix to Deep Purple to Waylon Jennings. I mean, everything across the board. But as far as people that I really wanted to emulate initially, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, I mean, I would sit down with the albums and just, drop the needle and cop the lick and drop the needle, cop the lick. And,
old school. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
right
that
now.
the vinyl, the time of vinyl. Vinyl and 8-track tape.
I'm still living in that era myself. There's no music like old school, whether it's jazz or... okay, John, now, we played in several different bands that we played all original music.
Yeah.
And each one of the bands we played in, Perfect Strangers. We've also had somewhat of a jazz fusion trio with you, Jeff Hines on drums, and myself on bass. And we want to also thank Jeff for coming by and hanging out with us last night. I hadn't also seen Jeff in about maybe 15 or 20 years, and he's looking good.
And sounding great.
Yes.
Playing good as ever.
John, I want to thank you for having me here.
My
and
pleasure.
I know the CD is going to do good. I mean, it's on a level that, like I said, I was very impressed.
The CD was to pretty much showcase everything that I've the sum total of all of my skill from years gone by up to the present, which, I did all of the writing, I did all of the arrangements.
That's right. You wrote everything on it and arranged everything.
I've done all of the engineering with the exception of, tracks that were done out of town.
Yes.
But it's all being mixed here. I'm doing the production work. Basically it's not a one-man show, but it's as much a representation of my.
Or anything that people go hear your music?
Absolutely. You can go to www.johnfifield.com. That's the main website. But I've also got a MySpace page, which is www.myspace.com/JohnFifield.
Okay, and those are right here at the bottom of the screen. So that's www.johnfifield.com, www.myspace.com/John Fifield.
Yeah, forward or back.
It's /.
Whichever way.
But it's whatever it says right here at the bottom of the screen. That's how you can go and hear a little bit of some samples of John's material. John, I love you, man.
I love you too, Daryl.
And I know this CD is going to be big, and it's an honor to be able to be a part of this project. Before we go, are there any other projects that you're working on that you want to let us know about? Because I understand that your wife is also a vocalist. You all have been married for how long?
We're married for 20 years.
For 20 years. They've also done a lot of live gigs. Tell us about that project and your wife's name and the name of the project and what kind of music we can expect from that.
Be happy to. My wife's name is Beverly Lewis, and the project is primarily going to be blues, jazz oriented. Not so much the hardcore, really raw blues, but more of a kind of a more sophisticated type of blues, R&B. And that's going to be the focus of that particular project. We've got 2 or 3 tunes pretty much completed at this point. We're also looking to release that CD before the end of the year and hopefully as close to mid-year as we possibly can. The name of the project is All Shades of Blue. Yeah.
So you're actually busy.
Yeah, actually things have been busy, but it's been a joy to work on, not only my stuff, but Bev's stuff and a few other things for people who are local and some other folks that are out of town. But
Yes.
nothing, I'm not putting a tremendous amount of time into anything other than my project and Bev's.
Yeah. As we were talking about Beverly's CD, you just saw a picture of Beverly, so you can identify with. What is a website where we can go to check out some of that CD? Does she have a website or anything where we can check out some of that?
Bev's got a MySpace page,
Okay.
and that's www.myspace.com/Beverly Lewis.
Okay, it's right here at the bottom of the screen. Okay, that's awesome, man. Once again, thank you very much. Now, John, I want to thank you for having me here.
Hey, man. My pleasure.
I'm wishing you much luck with this CD, and this CD is awesome. So we wish blessings with you, and I know good things are going to happen with this CD.
Productions. The Black Note's just keeping it real. Productions.